Wow. Uh, you and I have followed this thing very closely on the show, and you and I have looked at what the Mavericks have done, and man, these guys can be really good to the point where they could make the NBA Finals, maybe even win the whole thing, right? If you
Absolutely.
could get through the West. But we also understood that they were pretty banged up. And I think at one point during one of these shows, we said, if they make it to the finals, it's just going to be too much for Luca and Kyrie, and they're just going to be
Hmm.
so banged up. And Luca had the knee and the shoulder and the head and the this and the that, and he was in the ribs, and he was just beaten to carry the team. And they just then got beat by fundamental basketball. And so it's a similar question with the Celtics, but I want to get your opinion on this. The Luka's not going anywhere with the Mavs, but Kyrie was brought in for this purpose, and it served well, right? But he's getting older, and the Mavs are built around those two guys. So similar question that I had with the Celtics, but with the Mavs, is this the start of a finals, multiple year finals run for the Mavs? Or is this kind of the culmination of a rebuild and a one and done sort of shot at the title, and now Cuban's got to go reload and try this thing again?
No, absolutely not. These guys have
Okay.
an opportunity to do the same thing that the Celtics have done in the past 6, 7, 8 years. They have a chance to really carve out their space in the Western Conference. Is hard of a juggernaut there is to come out of there. You don't know what the Lakers are going to do. Minnesota is hungry. They're going to be back. OKC is young. They took their lumps too. They're going to be more experienced. So for the Mavs, it's the same thing. They're going to have to, again, not be static. They have to get better. And that even includes Luca and Kyrie. Kyrie didn't play well in the finals, particularly on the road at Boston. And Luca had his ups and downs. I know he was injured, but defensively, he was exposed a lot early in the series before he got injured. And throughout the playoffs. So, like the core that Dallas has right now is really key. You got to find a way to keep those guys like Washington and Gafford and Lively. Because as they get more experience, their value increases. Because even after having this one time experience for those guys, their value has now increased for other teams that can look for them to come in and play a role like they do here in Dallas. So it's incumbent upon Mark Cuban, Jason Kidd, um, you know, and the executives to and Nico Harris to really you know find what that is to make to keep that team competitive at this high level.
Jimmy, I agree with you, and I think that when you look at the Mavericks, my concern is, and I appreciate your thoughts on this as well. My concern is they're not the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're just getting better. And the Thunder are a bunch of young guys, and they're just going to keep improving. They're on rookie contracts, and they're young, and they play fast, and then you've got the Timberwolves, which is again another young team that's building and culminating, right? And you've got the Nuggets that are just kind of more like the Celtics of the West, right? And so you've got, and then you throw in the Clippers, and there's a bunch, and then the Lakers, and wherever LeBron goes, right? You got a bunch of good teams. So the Mavericks were the 5 seed this year. And I think the Mavericks are always going to be kind of in the hunt with Luca. And I think it's going to be a year to year proposition because I feel like the Mavericks really, 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 really enjoy having a different team every year. Like Cuban just is like, all
Like a
right, we're only allowed to have three of the same
like a
players next
professional
year.
AAU team.
Yeah, it's like an AAU team. That's right. It's like this weekend we got these guys. Next weekend we got four new players. All right.
Hey, what a great concept, right? Every
Yeah.
how about
So
every month or every 3 weeks you switch
so
up a pool of players on each team.
well, I don't think any year for the next 5 years are we going to go into the season is the number one team that's picked to win it all. I think we're just going to
No,
play through the
too hard to
season,
do. Too much
hang in
attrition, yeah.
there, hope
Free
Cuban makes
agency.
a few moves to kind of, you know, keep, add in a PJ Washington, whoever that PJ Washington is, maybe draft a guy that can contribute, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs. Because as long as you have Luca, we'll see what happens is a pretty good strategy. It seems to be
Well,
working pretty well.
well, that what happens is again, people catch up to you. So after this year, what worked last year is not going to work. You have to continue to get better. You got to continue to, develop new ways for your guys to be at their best. And again, that's why I mentioned um J Kidd and uh and everyone else that have to make those decisions, and it's on the players. Like Kyrie got to be real with himself and find a way to be effective when they need him